the fact that they drove to what they thought was a debris, like a debris field in the water, is the only reason I am right here. That's the only reason. 3.5 hours, man. I maybe had 2 hours left before, something like
Wow.
health wise happened, or God forbid, the man in the gray suit. There are some massive great white sharks out there, huge, like submarines out there that could just
Wow.
swallow you whole. So there's so much going through your head when you're out there. Um, but I always remember getting in that boat and just feeling this immense feeling of gratitude and thankfulness, and it definitely changed my perspective on life. I'll
Yeah, I
tell
was
you
gonna
that.
say it did.
Oh, completely. I mean, we joke around like, what's the craziest thing that's ever happened to you? I mean, has anyone, a majority of people in this world have not had a true life or death scenario, right?
Yeah.
And I've been unfortunate enough to have that at work, but not to this magnitude. At work, I can get out of situations that are life or death through training, right? I rely on my training and maybe the guys behind me on my crew. But when you're in a situation like that, helpless with no help coming, no cell phones, no radio, no nothing, it's a whole new mindset. It's a
Yeah.
whole new mindset. And so that definitely reset some of the things that I'm going to do going forward, and reset some of the things that I do when it comes to, family and friends. We overlook a lot of things. We take things for granted. Life is really just unstable deck of cards that we expect to be upright every time we wake up. When one of those cards falls, your entire stack could fall, and we take that for granted all the time. So, like, just the little things, Joe, like waking up in the morning and sitting on my porch and watching the sun come up. I take that shit for granted. Why? Because the sun comes up every damn morning.
Yeah.
But what if one day it's going to happen to us, right? Life is life. We both know that you at some point your time card is going to get punched, right? And up until that point, you take all this stuff for granted. And it's only until you have this crazy scare that you start, really truly appreciating the little things, man. Just the heat in the
Wow.
sand, or the waves crashing, or it's wild.
I've been doing this podcast for a long time. That is the craziest story I've ever heard. That's insane. I can't imagine. Well, I'm really happy you guys are alive. That's fucking nuts.
Yeah.
Um, you and Brayden have to, like, you guys are now bonded for life, I would think.
Joe, Brayden and I were bonded before this shit even happened. We became best friends right off the Bachelorette. The
Yeah.
day he came home, we became brothers. And yeah, I mean, if anything, this is another one of those pages in our book of friendship that binds our book even tighter than it already is. Yeah, this is the one thing I'm thankful for is I didn't really know Brayden's family that well, and I can tell you right now. Now after this event, I am his
Their
uncle's nephew.
family. Yeah.
Bro, like I was just at a winery with his aunt and his mom,
Yeah.
and they literally call me their adopted son.
Wow.
So there's always a silver lining to something that's kind of dark and scary. You just gotta let that door open for you. Walk right
Yeah.
in, see what happens,
Jesus.
man.
This
Yeah.
is I was not expecting. This was intense. I thought that I when I watched this clip, I was like, that's insane. But like really hearing it from your perspective and from the person that was there, it's just that's wow. Wow.
Like, let me ask you this, dude. Let me ask you this. And I know you're the question asker, but give me at least one.
Yeah.
Have you ever in your life accepted death?
Probably like I mean, I accepted the fact that I'm eventually going to die, but have I ever had no, probably no. I would say no.
And I'm trying to walk you through my emotions on, that time period where we were in the water. Because at that time, 2.5 hours in, with nothing in sight and no phone, no way to reach anybody, no land. I mean, literally, we're bobbing up and down these waves.
Yeah.
Life, like, just fucking lifeless, dude. Just waiting for the inevitable, right? Is if you Let me ask you this: if you died today, if you accepted death and you died today at your age, would there be any regret whatsoever? Like, I could have done more up until this point, or I have so much more to give. I have so much more to do. I have so much more for the world to see. And I'm asking
Yeah,
you
yeah,
this.
yeah. I would say yes. I would say yes to that. Yeah, I would say there's a lot of things I could be better at. So should probably work on those before I'm floating in the middle of the ocean.
Well, Big Joe, what I'm trying to say is life is one crazy book, right? And
Yeah,
I'm fortunate or not fortunate enough to see a lot of death in my career.
yeah,
And the one thing that always gets me, man, and makes me feel super sad is when someone's on their deathbed and I'm right there next to them and they have regrets on what they could have or should have done in their lives. And so if this story could tell you anything, we're lucky to be alive. We are. But any opportunity that you take to push yourself, to learn something new, or if there's a certain thing that you haven't tried, you want to try it, because you never know when your book closes on you.
yeah. No, I think that's great advice.